Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste and welcome back. You might be wondering at the name, which the title we have given to the retreat, Limitless Serene Radiance. That really has nothing to do with the Gita chapter which we have, which is the main theme of the retreat. It's an holdover, something left over from an earlier plan. We had Mataji and I had discussed the theme. One plan was to do it on the Yoga Vashishta Sara, which is a text, a, a brief compendium of the Yoga Vashishta. Yoga Vashishta is a huge text, ancient text, 30,000 verses or more. And this is a short summary or collection from the Yoga Vashishta called the Yoga Vashishta Sara, essence of Yoga Vashishta. Um, who made that collection? We don't know. Some monk a few hundred years ago, maybe. There was a Bengali book which I use, which I do use even now, translated, Yoga Vashishta Sara, translated by Swami Dhireshanandaji, who's a senior monk of our order, with copious notes on Vedanta. And I always felt that if there was an English version of it, I could use it for retreats here in the United States. And lo and behold, revered Swami Sarvapriyananda actually translated the book text with the notes into English and published it as the next Nectar of Supreme Knowledge. So there's a book, Nectar of Supreme Knowledge. Now, the very first verse of that book has this beautiful phrase, limitless serene radiance. And that is going to be the theme of this session. Now, it's not unconnected because they are all about the same reality, that you are Brahman. That's what it's all about. Knower of the field, and the field, that knowledge which was talked about by Krishna in the second verse, the realization of that is this limitless serene radiance. So I'll talk about the verse and we will go deep into it and then question answers. There will be points in the talk where it will be what I call experiential knowledge. So we'll try to get a feel for it or experience it for ourselves. So how much fun is that? The verse itself is very beautiful. Om Dikkaladyanavachinna Ananta Chinmatra Murtaye Swanubhutyeka Pramanaya Swanubhutyeka Manaya Namah Shantaya Tejase. I salute that serene radiance, which is unlimited by space, time, and object, which is infinite, which is pure consciousness, and whose only proof is one's own experience. Very beautiful verse. I really love this, especially for the phrase Namah Shantaya Tejase. I bow down to that serene radiance. Shanta, serene. Teja, radiance. What is this serene radiance? It is also infinite. What do you mean by infinite? Not limited by space, time, object. We'll look at all of that. What's it like? What's it made of? Consciousness. It's consciousness alone. Chin matra murti. It's form, murti. It's form. Formless, but form is consciousness alone. How do we know such a thing exists? It sounds like pure speculation, some kind of idea, abstract idea. Your own experience is the proof of this. We'll see how. Namah Shantaya Tejase. What is this radiance we are talking about? Right now, when we are sitting with our eyes open, our ears open, listening, This experience we are having, this experience has two parts. One is the objects of this experience. You're seeing me, I'm an object to you. You are hearing my voice, that's an object to you. We all have bodily sensations, warmth, pressure. I'm sitting there on the chair, feel of the ground on my feet, um, warmth or coolness, aches and pains. Those are also objects. These are various objects we are experiencing. Some are physical objects out there, some are the bodily objects, some are sensations, some are thoughts, some are memories, some are intellectual ideas. They're all objects. Objects to whom? Objects to what? To you, the awareness. This is exactly what Krishna was trying to say. Field and knower of the field. All objects which are experienced are field. And you, the experiencer, experiencing awareness, bearer of all objects, you are the radiance, the knower of the field. This is called Teja, radiance. Why radiance? Because like radiance, you illumine. See, hear, smell, taste, touch, think, remember, enjoy, suffer. All of that is because of that, because you are the radiance. We are that radiance, we are that awareness. That's why all of these experiences are coming. This is called the waking state. But we also have another kind of experience where this world disappears from our experience. These objects are not there anymore. Even this object, the body is not there in my experience anymore. A world of dreams comes. But still, dream objects are objects to you, the radiance. You, the radiance, continue in the dream, unbroken, unchanged. And then deep sleep comes. All those dream objects also cease. External objects gone, dream objects gone, blank. That radiance shines in that blankness. There's no sense, of course, that I am sleeping. If that was there, you wouldn't be sleeping. Even the mind stops. That's such an amazing thing to contemplate. We are so tied up with the mind. The idea of mind stopping completely is difficult to conceive of and disturbing also sometimes, because we feel we are the mind. It's like stopping of the mind is like our stopping, that we are gone. We are not gone. Every one of us experiences deep sleep. It's just the dream objects have ceased, and so also the external objects have ceased for a while. That's all. You continue as the radiance. You are that radiance, experiencing all this. Now gently close your eyes. When I gently close my eyes, I cannot see anything anymore. Of course, I can hear, but I cannot see anything anymore. Those objects have disappeared. But have I disappeared? No. I have not disappeared. I, the awareness, I continue. I'm aware of thoughts. I'm aware of feelings. I'm aware of emotions. Now try to simulate if those thoughts, ideas, emotions, pictures, memories, if they cease. No external world, no memories, no desires, no enjoyment, no suffering, no sensation of body. You forget everything, even your own name you forget. No conceptualization, ideas in the intellect, nothing. There's a blank. Then drop that blank also. The even deeper blankness you get, that's like deep sleep. I mean, gently open our eyes when you are comfortable. Open your eyes. When you open eyes, this state is like the waking. It is the waking, not like the waking state. It is the waking state, hopefully. So it is the waking state. No, sometimes people can simulate the waking state. They're actually asleep with eyes open, but they're sleeping. So this is a waking state in which I, the radiance, Teja, shining through the mind and the senses, I appear to contact an external world. It is external to the body, no doubt. It's called waking state, Jagrat Avastha. And when we closed our eyes, just closed our eyes, then thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, sensations coming in the mind, but no external world. At least not seeing anything. That is a good simulation of the dream state. I, the radiance, you continued. We all acknowledge, I was there. I'm here now. There I was. And even more startling, When you shut down all objects, try to simulate it. It's not, if you really do it properly, you'll fall asleep or go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So there also, one thing was there. In that blankness, I was there. I continued. I continued. This is called Teja. This continuous light, which illumines at one point an external world seemingly. At another point, it illumines an internal world, which seems to be external at that time. At another point, it illumines nothing, just blank. State of deep rest or deep sleep. But the light shines all the time. This continuous light which I am. Remember, that light is not an object. Everything is an object to that light. But that light is not an object. It is the subject. It is you. It is I. That's why I cannot objectify myself. If I say that light sounds so nice, Swami, how can I see it? You can't. And thank God you can't. Because if you could see it, it would become an external light like this. It would not be you. So I am that light. This is Tejaha. And remember, the claim is that it's a fact already right now. It's not a theory. In fact, it's a fact right now. It's the deepest fact about ourselves. This Teja is the Kshetragya, knower of the field. This is the witness consciousness. This is the Atman. So many words. This is Purusha. This is Sakshi, witness consciousness. This is the Tattvamasi, the Tvam in the Tattvamasi, you in the Tattvamasi. In the Aham Brahmasmi, it is the Aham, I, the real I. One continuous light. And this light is the light of the world. See, the room is in darkness, you switch on the light. This light is the light of the room. The sun is the light of the world. But the light of this light and that light is also my eyes. And if I close my eyes, neither sun nor this little light will be able to illumine anything. This is the Upanishadic way of thinking. My eyes are the light of this physical light. But the light of my eyes is the mind. Unless the mind is attentive, whatever the eyes are seeing, we will not be able to see. The power of attention is the inner eye. It's a big, big subject in modern psychology, in positive psychology now, especially in this age of distraction, social media. The eye of the mind, that is attention. But attention also is illumined by this light in the attention, which is the reflected consciousness. And the original source of that reflected consciousness is I, the light, Teja. This light is the light of the mind and the eyes and the world. It is the light of all lights. That shining, all else shines. By its light, everything is illumined. You find this statement in 3 Upanishads. Katha Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That alone shining, that light, alone shining, everything else shines. Everything else means mind shines. Then the senses shine. Then the world shines for you. By its light, tasya bhasa, by its light, by the light of that inner radiance, everything here is lit up. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Everything shines in this world by the light of that light. The world does not shine by sunlight. The world does not shine by moonlight, nor by electric light. What to speak of little flashlight? I'm giving a modern version of the old Upanishadic. There the sun does not illumine, nor the moon, nor this lightning, nor what to speak of this mere mortal fire. The stars do not illumine. That shining, everything else shines by its light. Everything here is lit up. You shining, everything else in your life shines. True or not? By your light, everything in the universe is lit up. I'm not being poetic here. It's literally true. All right, one more question. Experiential learning. Please look to your experience and answer. I am aware, therefore I'm aware of the mind. And through the mind, I'm aware of the eyes. If I close my eyes, I will not be able to see, but I am there. I can see my thoughts. I can experience my thoughts. I can listen to sounds. But let me ask you, if that light, that Teja, that light beyond the mind, shining on the mind through the senses, illumining the world, if that light, suppose it were not there, it was switched off somehow, would you be aware of the mind? Would you be aware of the senses? Would there be any experience of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching? The world would be plunged into, the universe would be plunged into darkness. In Vedanta, this is called Jagad Andhya Prasanga, the contingency of the darkness of the universe. You are literally the light of the universe. Namah Tejase. To this light, I salute. My salutations to this light. This word Namah is to be connected with each of the words. I will tell you so. Now let us focus on the word Namah, salutations. The old Vedic sense of Namah was when you offered an offering to the Vedic gods in the sacrificial, well-lit sacrificial fire with the chantings of the Vedic mantras accompanied by the Vedic priests. You offered, say, to the Vedic god, what is the offering? That which was mine is no longer mine, it is thine. Na mama, idam indraya na mama, namaha. Na mama, not mine. Shorten it, namaha. It is not mine. I give it up unto you. Now, in a Vedantic, in a normal devotional sense, we salute the Lord, Namaha, I salute. And I offer Namaha to a revered teacher, to God in the temple, I offer. It is not mine, it is mine. I can offer only something which is mine. I can't volunteer. I offer it. It is mine, I offer it to you. This is a devotion, this is salutations. That's why salutations are often accompanied with a gift. So salutations. There's a devotional approach, and that's correct. But what do I mean? You see, you might ask this question, this stage or this light we are saluting, I salute this light with it, but this light is I. Am I saluting myself? No. What does it mean? What is it that I'm giving up? I'm giving up all the upadhis, the adjuncts. There's no good way of translating this. In me, the light has appeared, the body, and somehow I, the light, I think I am the body. In me, the light has appeared, the mind and the sensory system. Somehow I think I am this person, the mind, body, and sensory system. And therefore, what am I? I am a body with consciousness. I'm a body with the light. No, Vedanta says you are a light with the body. You are the light itself. And to know myself as the light itself, I must, in my understanding, give up, dissociate myself from, distance myself from the adjuncts of body mind. So when I say Namah Tejase, salutations to that light, what I am saying is, I am the light only, not body, not mind. Body and mind are there, don't worry. Even when you're driving the car, you're the driver, you're not the car. That doesn't prevent you from driving the car. You can drive the car even better. So, I am not the body, not the mind, I am the light. This is the meaning of Namaha. I give up my identification with the body mind. Then I am you, O light, I am you. Namah Tejase. What kind of light is it? It says, Digkaladhyanavachinna. Not limited by space, time, object. Literally, it means not cut. Avachinna means cut. Whatever is limited is an object. The subject is not limited. We think we are very limited. I'm this small person. But that's because I've identified myself with this body and cut myself off from the rest of you. I've identified myself with this mind. And then I say, I'm a person and you're all other persons. But if I say Namah Tejase, salutations to that light is not cut off from anybody. It is one light of the world. Krishna says, I am the knower of the field in all fields. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Even the interpretation of the word Bharata, which I gave from Shankarananda's Tika yesterday. Bharata, the one who delights in the light. Literally, Bha means light. So it is not limited by space-time object. What does it mean? Not limited by space-time object? Not limited by time. It's not that the light comes on at one time and light goes out at other time. It's not that it's born and it dies. The body is limited. It is born at one time, it dies at other time. Everything in this world is being born and is dying, arising and ceasing. Buddhists will say they arise and cease moment to moment, not after 10, 20, 30 years. Moment to moment. But this light does not cease. It does not arise, it does not cease. Therefore, not limited by time. Not just a cool concept. You just experienced a kind of facsimile of it when I said, throughout my waking experiences, the light is there. Throughout my dream experiences, the light is there. Throughout the deep sleep experience, the light is there. Light is always there. When is the light not there? Swami, you are forgetting one thing. When a person dies, the light will go out. Lights off. All your fancy consciousness theories, continuous awareness. I can understand waking, dreaming, even deep sleep. You can convince me somehow the light is on, illuminating an empty room, blank. But when death comes, the light goes out. So, no. Because if you say that, you have already assumed that the death means death of the body, brain, nervous system. You've already assumed that the brain and nervous system are producing this light. It's gross physicalism. One might say, isn't it so? Sort of common, part of the worldview which we inhabit. Everything is body. But it is not so. That is where the hot debate is today. If you look up the hard problem of consciousness, mind-brain interactions, what is consciousness? This is hot subject today. If you Google it, you'll find. We are unable to understand consciousness in terms of brain. We can find correlations of conscious experiences with brain experiences. Let me just dwell on this for 1 minute before I go ahead. A question might be asked. Neuroscience reveals irrefutable proof of brain activity corresponding to our conscious experiences. So why are you saying that this brain is not producing consciousness? Now look at it from the model of experience which I talked about. The gentleman there asked in the earlier session, how is consciousness experiencing anything? The model of experience I talked about, consciousness illumines the mind. The mind takes the form of objects which the information comes in through the senses. Now consciousness is understood as one continuous light illumining various objects presented to it, right? Now these objects are different. So the presentations of the objects to consciousness are different. And the presentation is done through the brain. So you would expect that as different objects are presented and conveyed through the senses, through the brain to the mind, there will be brain activity corresponding to those objects. And in the mind, various kinds of vrittis arise when we experience different objects. And those vrittis are illumined by this light. And I say, I experience it. Experiences are many. But the light which experiences it, which enables that experience, it is one. Because experiences are many, corresponding to those many experiences, externally corresponding to the many objects of experience, internally corresponding to the many vrittis of experience, there will be brain functionality. Why? Because the objects are objective. Even according to Vedanta, the vrittis are objects. And so objects can interact with objects. The brain is an object. There will be objective functioning corresponding to the objective vrittis. And that's why we have a variety of conscious experiences. So all, according to Vedanta, or even Sankhya, all the brain, the correlation of neuronal activity with our conscious experience, all that it reveals is a multiplicity of objects and a multiplicity of vrittis in the mind. It does not reveal that consciousness is being produced by the brain. Let me give another kind of example. AI. Now AI is doing amazing things, more and more. Earlier, AI was able to do, it could do your college assignments. First time when AI came, ChatGPT came out, first people who were impacted and who became alarmed were college teachers, school teachers, because all the students were turning in assignments done by AI, by ChatGPT. Now, how do you know whether the kid has written it himself or herself, or AI, or even more subtle, with the help of AI? And is it wrong to take the help of AI? At that time, a friend of mine who is a world-class mathematician and a scientist and a little skeptical of the humanities, he says, see, this shows that humanities is not real knowledge. AI, notice, it can write short stories, it can compose poems, it can do your assignments, it can write essays, it can write articles. A big problem in journalism now. A lot of nice articles are being written by AI. But what it cannot do is, can it produce genuine scientific breakthroughs? Can it produce genuine mathematical insight? Initially, it could not. It was very poor at math. It was very good at writing essays, ChatGPT, but very poor at math, like many students. And was not particularly useful in science. So science is real knowledge, humanities is just putting words together. AI can do it. But within months, the latest Nobel Prizes which were declared, physics Nobel Prize went to AI, and even more startling and maybe alarming, the chemistry Nobel Prize went to the researchers who used AI to bolster their research. So AI became useful in producing insights which were Nobel Prize winning. Mathematics. I think Terence Tao, I was reading, he's one of the leading pure mathematicians, string theorist, maybe, I've forgotten. But he's one of the leading mathematicians in the world. He recently tried out AI in his field, and his estimation of it is very interesting. He said, the AI, how did it do in advanced, higher level maths? Specialized AI, not our usual ChatGPT. He said, I would compare it to the efforts of a not entirely hopeless grad student, which is great. At a postgraduate level, at the grad student level, if the AI can at all perform anything at all, and the world's leading mathematicians say that not entirely hopeless, which is good, high praise actually, which is better than average. That level of math, most of us, except the committed mathematicians here, we won't be able to even come close to that. AI can do that. No longer is it true that AI cannot produce knowledge. It can produce knowledge. In Vedanta, knowledge is the special capacity of buddhi, intellect. Where am I going with this? All of this is possible for AI except one thing: no consciousness. Nobody in the field of AI, especially the experts, if you ask them, is your AI conscious? They'll say, no, not at all. How do you know if somebody challenges? How do you know it's not conscious? Well, first, my answer would be ask the experts. Have them made it conscious? What does it? If you ask them, they will say, no, we don't even understand what you mean by consciousness. Not only that, they will say, if you look at the money, follow the money. Millions of dollars, it seems, hundreds of millions of dollars have gone to make the AIs what they are today. How many millions of dollars to make them conscious? Not $1. Did it just become conscious by itself? No. My argument here is, you have got an objective system, a computer system, algorithms, which can mimic the activities of our mind and intellect. Creative activities, higher, what we thought were higher intellectual activities. Art, science, it can mimic and do passably well, but it doesn't have consciousness. Then my argument, what am I saying? In that case, consciousness is not one more feature of the mind or the brain. It is something distinct from brain, distinct from mind. In Vedanta, mind is also object, brain is also object. And therefore your AI can, which is objective, it can mimic with a lot of effort and computing power, it can do a fairly good job of mimicking your intellectual activities, your mental activities, but not consciousness. There is no inner subjective first person feeling there. There is no teja inside, the light inside. It's not there. It's a powerful argument, I think, to distinguish consciousness from the activities of the mind, certainly from the brain. So, death, bringing back to the original argument, even if you have forgotten, I remember, death will not switch off the light. It's not a good argument. Death we can switch off the physiological body. Even mind also not destroyed by death, according to Vedanta or all of the philosophies. In fact, all religions will say death is not the end. End of what? Not the end of mind. I was remembering, so touching, the shaman who was here, the near-death experiences. There was a workshop here on near-death experience a few years ago, unforgettable. A lot of academic information was shared, some very nice personal information. So a shaman who specializes, so he apparently has the capacity to contact persons who have just died or persons whose bodies are damaged and they're apparently in coma. So you might say he's claiming, but anyway, he shared this very beautiful story here, very touching story. This little girl who was brain damaged in an accident and on life support. And finally, the doctor said, you have to turn off life support. There's no chance of this girl coming back again. The brain is too damaged. She can never recover. So you have to turn off life support, and she's alive only because the machines are keeping her alive. It's artificial. So just turn it off, and the body will die by itself immediately almost. So the parents decided to do that. They brought the child home. The lawyers came, doctors came, and then they had invited a priest. They had invited the shaman also to do some rites and all that. The shaman said they burned smoke and sage and all that, and they chanting. And he said that I went and sat in the lawn outside with some others when they unplugged the machines, and we saw the ambulance going away. They had unplugged the machines, and the parents would sit, the child would pass away. Then after some time, we saw the ambulance coming back, sirens and all, ambulance coming back, people rushing into the house. What happened? We were puzzled. We're sitting on the lawn outside. Then quickly they came from inside the house and please come inside quickly. We went inside and they said to the shaman, it's uncanny. The child started breathing by herself when the plugs were taken out. The machines were unplugged. The child started breathing by herself. She didn't die. Now what will you do? She's not dying. Without the machine, she's breathing, but still absolutely comatose. There's no response at all anywhere in any of the other sense. Like voluntary response, nothing is there. Or even involuntary response, nothing is there. What to do now? They asked the shaman that, can you contact this child? We believe you can contact even a person if the child cannot contact us through the body is damaged. So the shaman said, I can try. And he tried. And then he said, I contacted the child and I told the child, it is time to go. Don't stay anymore. And she said to me, I also want to go, but my mummy will cry. So I can't go. So he said, I came back and I came to this plane of awareness, and I told the mother, this is what the child is saying. So you sit near the child, hold her hand and tell her that it's all right. I understand, you go. Wherever you're going, it is nice. And we will always remember you. I won't cry. I'm happy with it. So they believed him. So they sat like that and held the hand of the child, and they spoke to the child. After some time, the breathing ceased, and that they felt a presence in the room. It left the room. The mind does not die. The soul, the individual being does not die. That is the claim of every religion in the world. It won't be a religion unless it claims that. If any system of thought claims that death is the end, nothing more, lights out, then it's not a religion. It's materialism. Vedanta also says, at the death of the body, the mind goes on. The light certainly is always there, not limited by time. Not limited by time. I know where we are in that whole discussion. We are discussing Desha Kala Anavachinna, Digkalaman Anavachinna, not cut by space, not cut by time. So the body is cut by time. Even thoughts are beginning and ending. Feelings, waking, dreaming, sleeping are all beginning and ending. But that light does not have a beginning and ending. We are that light. You are that light. Salutations to that light which is not cut by time. The lecture is going to be cut by time, so we'll move on. Similarly, not cut by space. Not cut by space means we think I am here and I'm limited in space and there's a vast space outside. I'm so tiny. But that's because I think I'm the body. The body is certainly tiny compared to the vastness of space. The light is all pervasive. Consciousness is all pervasive. And here is where I bring in, in one talk where Vedanta was being taught in Haridwar, and the Swami was saying in Hindi that Sarvavyapi, all pervasive light, you are that. Someone from the back of the hall, another monk said, wait a minute. You are there and I am here. I am not even there. How can I be everywhere? In Hindi he said, आप वहां हैं, हम यहाँ हैं. तो मैं वहां नहीं हूं, आप यहाँ नहीं. तो सर्वव्यापी कैसे हुए? You are not even here and I am not even there. How can I be everywhere? Then the teacher replied, but here and there, are they not both in you? What do you mean? Space is an appearance in consciousness, in that light itself. Where are you aware that he's there, I am here? Both there and here are appearing in consciousness. Let me make it easier. Dream. Suppose we are in a dream. We don't know we are in a dream. We are walking about and enjoying a nice walk in the park. And we say, here is the lake. There is the New York skyline, here and there. That's so far away. And here, this is so close, here and there. When I wake up, where is the here? It's all here. Where is the there? It's all here. The mind itself became space and spread out as the lake here and the New York skyline there. And then appeared as one body, one perspective, point of view, and felt this is here, that's there. But the whole thing appeared in the mind. Space appeared in the mind. How much so? Mind itself is the child of consciousness. Mind itself is an appearance in consciousness. Space itself is an appearance in consciousness. You are the light, not cut by space. Salutations to that light. Namah Tejase. You are the light, not limited by object. Very important point here. Object means a thing is only one and not something else. So this is a book and this is a piece of paper. The book is not the piece of paper is not the book. This is an object limitation. Why is it a limitation? Well, the poor book can't be anything other than a book. It's only a book. It's not a piece of paper. It's not the lectern. It's not the Swami. It's not the sun, not the moon. It's a book. So every object is itself and distinct from everything else in the universe. This is a kind of limitation. You are only this and nothing else. This is the law of identity. A is identical to itself and different from not A. That's how the world functions. But Brahman does not have this limitation. Brahman is not limited by object. What does it mean? There is nothing in the universe distinct from Brahman. There's nothing in the universe distinct from the ultimate reality, Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss. Imagine what it would be for something to be distinct from existence. Brahman is existence, Sat. To be distinct, different from existence would be non-existence. So that which is other than Brahman is non-existent. Think about these things. These are various arguments put forward. So the light within which we are light, which is non-different, different from anything in the universe. If you're following carefully, you'll be puzzled here. Did we not say light and object? Object is all different from the light, and the light is just the light. So isn't it an object limitation? The light is only light and nothing else. But now we have to go to what discussion we had yesterday. Field and the field knower. First distinguish the field from the field knower, and then realize the field itself is the part of is an appearance of the field knower. What we normally think are objects to consciousness, objects to the light, they are nothing other than the light itself. The universe is light shining. This is non-duality, no second reality. Even the things which appear as the objects to the light are nothing but the light. They do not constitute a countable second apart from the light because they are made up of the same light. They appear as an object. Again, good example is our dreams. In my dreams, I am the light. I am the dreamer and I am experiencing this world. I'm experiencing this world. In my dream, when I wake up, everything that I experienced was I, the dreamer. I, the dreamer, became the person who's seeing the lake and the New York skyline. So I am the seer, object is the lake, and the New York skyline is another object. This object is here, that object is there. But when I wake up, I, the seer, am the object, this object and that object, here and there, they all merge into the dreaming mind. And when I wake up, that mind alone, I realize was the dream. The subject and the object both were the dreaming mind. Therefore, no object is separate from the light which illumines those. See, the light metaphor breaks down here. This light is quite separate from the objects. That light shines and illumines the objects. This is the Sankhyan worldview. Consciousness and matter are different and they interact. But Advaitic worldview is consciousness illumines objects preliminary. The deeper analysis is consciousness, the objects are nothing but consciousness. Consciousness is distinct from the objects, but the objects are not distinct from consciousness. You are distinct from the world, but the world is not distinct from you. That's Sadhu, I'll repeat what he said. I had mentioned it yesterday. दृष्टा तो दृश्य से अलग है महात्मा जी, सो ठीक है, लेकिन कभी आपने सोचा है क्या दृश्य दृष्टा से अलग है? Oh monk, you the witness, you are separate from the object witnessed. That is correct. But have you ever thought about this? Is the object witnessed separate from you? You are separate from the dream world, but is the dream world separate, distinct, existing by itself apart from you? Not at all. You alone appeared as your own dream world. Then what we have gathered here, that light which is uncut, unlimited by space, must be all pervading. That light which is unlimited by time must be eternal. That light which is unlimited by object must be non-dual, no second reality. Sarvavyapi, Nitya, Advaita. This all-pervasive, eternal, non-dual nature of light. There's one word used next for it. There'll be two words. But one word is Ananta. This is limitless. This is infinite. One word is infinite. If you want to expand it, not limited by space-time object. Eternal, all-pervasive, non-dual. Anantaya namaha. Namah Anantaya. Dikkaladya navacchinnaya namaha. Salutations to that which is not limited or cut. Here it is direction, space, etc. It is mentioned. But the thing is taken from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Ananta. So the Ananta means not limited by space-time object. Or in other words, positive terms, all-pervasive, eternal, non-dual. Want to put this whole thing in one word? Ananta, limitless. Because limit means space limit, time limit, object limit. Not limited by space, not limited by time, not limited by object, meaning all-pervasive, eternal, non-dual. Namah Anantaya. We salute that infinite. What is that infinite? That light. What light? You. Then another word used for that is Chinmatra Murtaye. It is consciousness alone. Chinmatra Murti. Namah Chinmatra Murtaye. This whole thing which we are experiencing, I the experiencer, and whatever I'm experiencing, whoever I'm experiencing, whatever, and the absence of all experiences also, blankness, all of that is only light shining. Chinmatra Murtaye. Let me give you a little bit of an analysis. I'm borrowing this from one great Advaita teacher in the 1940s, 50s in Kerala. His name was Krishna Menon, Atmananda Krishna Menon. You can look him up. He's a retired police officer, but an enlightened person. And he taught this very direct form of Advaita. And there, one of his central insights was, all the time, it's only consciousness experiencing consciousness, light experiencing light, nothing else. How? He proved it. You can prove it. Then you see this orange cloth. What am I seeing? An orange cloth. But actually, the orange cloth does not enter into our eyes. Thank God. Otherwise, you have to call 911. What happened? He saw an orange cloth. Become blind now. No. All that enters into our eyes is light and light alone. Imagine how many things we see in this world. So many people, so many different kinds of dresses, so many shades of color, so many shapes, so many textures. We're all seeing all this all the time. And yet we see only one thing. Only one thing is entering into the organs of vision physically, light and light only. Because the organs of vision are designed to receive light only. They are not designed to receive a orange cloth, a book, a table, or far less a human being. Not at all. Only light. By the time it comes to the eyes, it's only light. By the time it comes to the brain, not even light. It's electrical activity in the neurons, in the synapses. I've forgotten 8th class, 9th class biology, axon, dendrite, synapse. Electrical activity. By the time it comes to the mind, in the mind, what is there? Only mind. Orange cloth is not there in the mind. Table is not there in the mind. Human being is not there in the mind. Sky and earth and fire and water are not there in the mind. Only mind. Chitta vritti is there in the mind. Movements, thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas. That's mind. What can the mind process? Mind only. Then what happens? It appears, the mind appears in the consciousness, and I say, I experience. In consciousness, what can be there? There can only be consciousness. This is very deep Advaita philosophy called Adhyasa. Adi Shankaracharya, his introduction to the Brahma Sutras is called Adhyasa Bhashya, an introduction on an essay on superimposition. The only way, the crux of that, the only way consciousness can experience anything at all is if it appears in consciousness. It's the truism. And what can appear in consciousness? Only consciousness can appear in consciousness. So what appears to be an object in consciousness is consciousness only. See, it's an orange cloth, external physical object. By the time it comes to your eyes, light, only light. By the time it goes to the brain, only electrical activity. By the time it comes to the same thing, when it comes to the mind, only thoughts. By the time consciousness illumines, those thoughts are appearances in consciousness. They're through and through consciousness, Teja. Just light shining. This universe, our experience of the universe is just light shining. At that level, this is Paramarthika, the absolute level. Transactionally, it's still an orange cloth. I can distinguish one play table. I can put it on my shirt. I can distinguish these two shades of orange. It's possible. But it is just light shining. In consciousness, there cannot be anything other than consciousness. And Sadhu, Uttarakhand Sadhu say, they have a nice way of putting it. Jyo katyo thasaathas bharpur. It is as it is. The light is as it is, packed tight. Brahman is packed tight. Where is the space for your world of the universe? They put it this way. You must have some space in Brahman to sneak a universe inside. No space. It's packed tight with Brahman. What it means is existence awareness is one unbroken continuum, akhanda, unbroken. No division is possible. Nothing other than that is possible. If it was possible, then you could fit an universe in. No. Only existence conscious. Then why is this such a tremendous diversity of display of the universe? This is what the Buddhists call it. This universe is a magical display on the primordial ground of being. Beautiful way of phrasing it. It's a magical display on the primordial ground of being. What is the primordial ground of being? Sat, pure being. Or in this case, in this verse, the primordial light, you, Teja. But you see, in that sense, there's no universe. It's light only. It's consciousness only. That's why it says Shanta, serene. The word Shanta has two meanings here. One meaning is the silence of the universe. There is no universe in Brahman. There is no universe in you, the light shining, even though a whole universe appears. Just like in the dream. In the dreaming mind, neither the lake is there, nor New York skyline is there, nor the fellow seeing it. They're all appearances of the same mind. Only dreamer's mind is there in the dreaming mind. Nothing, not one entity other than that. Although 1,000 things appear. Similarly, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things appear. Yet it is just light. This is one meaning of Shanta. In the Mandukya Upanishad, there is a phrase, Prapancha Upashamam Shantam. It means, Prapanchopashamam means silence of the universe. It is light and light. No, they're light plus objects illumined. They are also light. Therefore, there's nothing but light. Our life is light shining. And that light is free of the universe, free of samsara. That's one meaning of Shanta. And therefore, Namah Shantaya Tejase. I salute that serene luminosity, that serene radiance. The second meaning of Shanta refers to the light itself. The light is devoid of any identifying characteristics which will enable speech. It is quiet. One of the most ancient definitions of the Atman, of Brahman in the Upanishads is Upashantoyam Atma. This self, this Brahman is silence. The highest teaching of Brahman is silence. Vedanta is beautiful that way. If you want detailed Vedanta, the Upanishads are there, Gita is there, Brahma Sutras are there, endless commentaries, and many subsidiary texts are there. And he said, no, make it short. Then Shankaracharya says, one sentence is enough. Half a shloka, half a verse. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmai Vanapara. The light alone is true, the world is an appearance in that light, and you are that light. Make it shorter. It's still too long. Tattvamasi, you are that light. Make it shorter. Om. Make it shorter. Silence. He said, why didn't you keep silent then? Vashishta was asked in Yoga Vashishta Sara. Ramachandra asked Vashishta, if that is the highest teaching of the Atman, why didn't you do that? He said, if I had done that without teaching you Vedanta, you would have thought I don't know anything. And if I had done that here, Mataji won't invite me back anymore. If I just come and stand there in silence, I'm giving you the highest teaching. She would have said, thank you, brother, we'll find somebody else. So Shantaya, Namah Shantaya Tejase. I salute that serene radiance. Then all of this is relatively easy. The next word is a difficult one. Swanubhuti Ekamanaya, where your own experience is the only proof. Your own experience is the only proof. What is the proof of this, all this? Mana means proof, measure, proof. All knowledge comes from, in Vedanta, in fact, entire Indian philosophy, there is something called Pramana. Nyaya, Vaisheshika. Nyaya and Vaisheshika, they are masters of Pramana. Pramana means source of knowledge. Any claim you make, world is real, world is false, God exists, God does not exist, every time you should ask this question, how do you know? I would like to know the source of your knowledge. Do you see it? Did you read about it? Did you do experiments about it? Did you do inference? One is pratyaksha, seeing. Not just seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, all our senses, direct sensory knowledge is called perceptual knowledge. It could be visual perception, could be auditory perception, all of these perceptual knowledge. This is called pratyaksha. Aksha, eyes, generalized to all five senses. Prati, presented to. Pratyaksha, presented to the senses. That's one kind of knowledge. Mostly we use that. But there's a wider kind of knowledge where we gather data through our senses and our extended scientific apparatus and then do inference upon it. The scientific process itself is an extremely powerful inferential process. But inference is common sense. We all use inference. That's another source of knowledge. I'm not directly seeing it, but I infer and I get knowledge. Or we may get knowledge from authority, scientific authority, religious authority, whatever we consider to be authority, we read about it. Now, all knowledge has to be justified on pramanas. Your own existence. How do you know you exist? I know I exist, you know you exist. There's no doubt about it. I mentioned Descartes, who said the only indubitable knowledge is the knowledge of our own existence. How do I know that I exist? He said, cogito ergo sum. Descartes' proof is pramana. I think, therefore I exist. But how do I know that I think? How did you know you are thinking? I just know. What does it mean? How? Let me prove it this way. Source of knowledge. You all are there. If you ask, is such and such person there? You say, I think I saw him or I saw her. Yes, he was there or she was there. How do you know? I saw. Or if we ask the team members, was such and such person present? They will look at the roster. Yeah. Who attended? Let me read it. Yes, such person was present. Or that person was not present, according to the roster. So, authority, perceptual knowledge. You can have inference also. That I see that, they requisitioned a parking spot. From that, I inferred that they had come. Something like that. From one pratyaksha, perceptual knowledge, you infer. Now, if I ask you, so you know that person had come. You have seen him or seen the list of people who attended. But if I ask you, were you there? Yes, I was there. How do you know? Will you say, I saw myself, so I know? No. I touched, I smelt myself, so I know. No. Did you infer you were there? Did you go and let me see look at the list? Was I there? Yes, I was there. So, I was there. Right now, if you say, I am here, that person is here, I see they are here. Is that other person here? I look at the list, they must be here. I don't see them now, they must be outside somewhere. So they are here. But you are here or not? Yes, I am here. How do you know? Which list did you consult? Did you see yourself? How do we know our own existence? That is prior to all pramanas. Everything else is revealed by that light. Namah Shantaya Tejasya. I salute that serene light. Everything in the universe is revealed by that light. But how is that light revealed? You know yourself. That light, you are that light, you know yourself. How? How is that light revealed? Does it require another light? No, even this light does not require another light. This light will illumine the room in darkness and it shows itself also. That light is self-luminous. What do I mean by that? It reveals other things and it shines by itself. It is revealed by it. It is not, does not reveal itself. It is what is called self-luminous. It illumines everything else and it shines self-luminously, let us put it. Let me explain a little more here. In every act of knowledge, there is a knower, an object of knowledge, and an instrument of knowledge. So I, the knower, pramata, and the knower. It's called pramata in Sanskrit. There's an object of knowledge, the book, prameya, and an instrument of knowledge, the eyes, pramana. So the pramata, knower, the mind, with the instrument of knowledge, the eyes, and the object of knowledge, the book, I know, and I can say, I know the book. So pramata, pramana, prameya. But now when it comes to the pramata, I, me, myself, I seem to know that I exist. What is the pramata here and what is the prameya here? If the same model were to be applied, then my own existence would have to be revealed by another. Then I would become the object of knowledge. Prameya. That would require a separate pramata, somebody else to know that I exist. I have another self, maybe a higher self, which knows me this lower self exists. And to know that self, how would it know? How would you know? Then you would require one more pramata to know that self. Let me repeat. To know myself, to know anything else, I, the self, plus instrument of knowledge and object. But when I make myself the object, I exist, then I am the object of knowledge. Who or what is the subject? Can we have a separate subject which knows this object? If we did that, we would have an infinite regress. Then that subject would require another subject. That subject would require another subject. You would have an infinite regress. This in Sanskrit is called anavastha, having no ground. The ground would keep slipping away under our feet. Infinite regress. No, the only possible answer is this self, while revealing everything else, it is also self-luminous. It does not require a separate pramata to reveal it. It shines and everything else is lit up. By its light, everything else is. It's required to know everything else. But you don't require another pramata, another knower, another self, another consciousness, another light to know this light. This is the crucial definition, core definition of consciousness you find in Advaita Vedanta. There's a very difficult text called Chit Sukhi. The formal name of that book, actual title of the book is Tattva Pradipika, the lamp which reveals the truth. This author who lived about 800 years ago, 800 to 900 years ago, his name was Chit Sukhacharya. Chit Sukhacharya. Chit means consciousness, Sukha means joy. So Chit Sukha means the joy. Joy and consciousness, Chidananda, also the same thing. So Master Chit Sukha. But because his name was Chit Sukha, the book has been called, which goes now popularly by the name of Chit Sukhi. One of the most difficult dialectical works in Advaita Vedanta. Very, very difficult. I've studied only a tiny slice of it. My master, who is to study this text under a great scholar. I remember my teacher, that Swami who used to teach me, he would go to study in Calcutta under this great scholar, and I saw him going there once a week. Every week he would go. For 20 years. Still the book was not complete. 20 years I saw him going. I attended only one of those classes, but that was a separate story. So in that book, one of the most famous portions of that book is where Chit Sukhacharya, I can't avoid this joke. It's a Chit Sukhi joke. So one day, a monk came to our training center where we are novice monks under training. And this monk came and he was telling us, When we were your age, under training, brahmacharis, novices under training, a senior monk came visiting and asked us, so what are the boys studying here? And one of us bravely said, Chitsukhi. And then the senior monk was very impressed. Chitsukhi, that's really advanced. Are you sure you are studying Chitsukhi? Said, no, Chitsukhi means, now this works only in Bengali or Hindi. Chit, also another meaning of chit is to be flat. Chitsukhi means the joy of lying down flat. It means someone very lazy. So that's what we are enjoying here. We are lying down flat. Chit Sukha. Chit means flat and Sukha means joy. Chit also means consciousness, by the way. Anyway, silly joke. So in that book, there is a section in which Chit Sukhacharya attempts to define pure consciousness, this light, a precise definition. And he gives a definition, finds it defective, gives another definition, finds it defective. That's how they did philosophy in those days. Uddesha Lakshana Pariksha. Uddesha, the list of things you want to understand. Lakshana, define them. And then Pariksha, examine those definitions. As you examine, you will find defects and your understanding will become deeper and deeper. So he defines consciousness. One definition, defective, abandoned. Second definition, defective, abandoned. Goes on like this for 11 definitions. And it's a wonderful exploration, subtler and subtler exploration of what this light could be, as far as intellect will go. Then only silence, but up to that point, you can see how close he gets. What's the final definition? I won't bore you with the other 10 definitions. Then you'll all become Chitsukhi. What is the final definition? Avedyatve sati aparoksha vyavahara yogyatvam swaprakashatvam. Self-luminosity. Consciousness is self-luminous. The only thing that is self-luminous is consciousness. What is the definition? Avedyatve sati. I'll give you the English translation and then explain a little bit. Not being an object of knowledge, it is fit to be called directly revealed. This is a beautiful definition. Look at yourself, the light which we are. It is not an object of knowledge because you can't see it, hear it, smell it, taste it. No pramana will reveal it. No instrument of knowledge will reveal it. And yet, it's directly revealed to us. Aparoksha vyavahara yogyatvam. Yogyatvam, fitness. If one would notice it, one would agree, yes, I am directly aware, aparoksha, directly aware that I am light, I am awareness. It is fit to be. Not that we always think we are directly aware of that I am pure consciousness, but it is fit. You can use it in that sense. So self-luminosity is this. Not being an object of any avedyatve sati, not being an object of not known, being not known, yet being fit for the linguistic usage of the term aparoksha, directly revealed. It's very carefully worded. So that is Swanubhuti ekamanaya. No pramanas will work, and yet it's there. How do you know if something is not revealed by the pramanas? There's an elephant in this room. Swami, I can't see it. No, it's there. It's not revealed by your eyes. That will not work. If an elephant were in the room, we should all be able to see it, those of who we have our eyes. So if something is not revealed by the pramanas, then we say it doesn't exist. There's no elephant in the room. We all agree, because if it were there, I would see it. Now, if you say something is beyond all pramanas, how do we know it exists? Because the activity of every pramana reveals that light. It is directly revealed to us as I, me, myself, Descartes says, indubitable, my own existence. Directly revealed. Also, it is revealed through us through the activity of all the pramanas. Because I see, that's a conscious experience, I'm light. Because I hear, that's a conscious experience, I am light. AI can't do that. Because I touch, I smell, I taste, I enjoy, I suffer, I am awake, I dream, I sleep. All of those are consciousness. And therefore, that pure consciousness must be there. It's like seeing all these things, I know you're all here. But it also means my eyes are functional. It is the proof that eyes are there and working, although I can't see my eyes. I can see you. That shows me that I have eyes which are working. Yes. Namah Swanubhuti Ekamanaya. Salutations to that whose only proof is our own experience. What a beautiful way of putting it. Then let us put it together, this verse. Namah Shantaya. Salutations to that which is the peace which beyond understanding, which is the silence of the universe, which is that consciousness for which no words can be applied. Namah Shantaya. Namah Tejase. Salutations to that radiance. All the rest are explanations of that radiance. Namah Digkaladi Anavachinnaya. Salutations to that which is not limited by space-time object, therefore which is all-pervasive, eternal and non-dual. Namah Anantaya. Salutations to the infinite. All of this you put together, it becomes infinite. Namah Chinmatra Murtaye. Salutations to that which is consciousness alone. Not just consciousness is consciousness alone. All of this is also consciousness alone. Even while experiencing a world, body and mind. What a tremendous claim. Not only is it a claim, they're saying it's obvious right now. And the proof for all this, Namah Swanubhuti Ekamanaya. Salutations to that whose only proof is my own experience. Which experience? Every experience. Every experience. Seeing what do I know my eyes are working? Seeing anything? How do I know that the book is present on my table? Only by seeing the book. By seeing the paper, I can't say the book is present on my table. Only by seeing the object, I can claim this object is present. But whether I see the paper or the book, I can claim my eyes are present. Whatever I see reveals to me my eyes. Whatever you experience reveals to you consciousness, that you are awareness. Namah Shantaya Tejase. Salutations to that. And that consciousness cannot be expressed by any language, any distinguishing features. So therefore, Shanta in that sense. It is silence. The highest expression of that is Upashantoyam Atma. It is silence itself. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Questions? So many questions. Okay, that's it. Stop. No more. Just the people who have come up, queued up. We'll try to deal with the questions now. And you tell me when to stop, because we'll go on. Tell us your name and ask the question.
Thank you, Swamiji, for all your lectures. Listened and enjoyed them a lot. My name is Pallavi. And I have a question about the first thing that you said about that operation cannot be performed on a diabetic body.
Not me, doctors say that.
I mean, and I agree with that. But the whole premise of the Praman, Kshetra and Kshetrajna, should not be given to unpurified minds, is what I understood.
No, it can be given, but it won't work until one has done the work, done the purification. Remember, Krishna teaches the highest Vedanta to Arjuna straight away, second chapter. You are the Atman. But then he tells all the methods of purification, devotion, how to do karma yoga, all that he explains throughout the Gita.
Because in Vedanta, sir, also when I had heard your talk, that Adhikari has certain qualifications. So in this day and age, is that a good thing where everybody is giving talks, everybody is listening everywhere? Shouldn't the focus be on just the purification of the mind?
Yes, but for what? See, the cat's out of the bag. It's all available there. You can't change it, and nor is it good. This is the age of democracy. This is the age of democracy and knowledge, not hidden, not given little by little. I'll give, the rest I'll keep back. No, those days are gone, and good that they are gone. Swami Vivekananda said, I shall take the Vedanta which was confined to the hills and forests. I shall take it and scatter it, broadcast across the cities of the world. Vedanta which was in the hands of a few monks and pandits, scholars, I shall distribute it to the people of the world. It's not just Vedanta. Every form of knowledge is becoming more and more free now. There are disadvantages, what you're talking about. Earlier, in ideal circumstances, it was taught, as we see in the books itself, taught to a highly qualified teacher. Highly qualified teacher, highly qualified aspirant. And then it worked. They became enlightened. But that kept out millions of people. And if you restrict it like that, over time, this knowledge begins to shrivel and die out. This is the age of mass of everybody should have access to it, and that's good. There's a saying, you should open, don't keep the doors and windows shut. Open the doors and windows, let fresh air come in. But with fresh air, bugs will also come in. So similarly, in Vedanta, you are right, there is a problem. People can do anything with it, can understand it, not understand it, misunderstand it, use it, misuse it. Those problems are there. It's all right. I think we are in a better place now.
Pranam Swamiji. My name is Ashutosh. Immense gratitude for your presence here. What is mithya, and does it have any interplay with this Sakshi Bhav?
Yes. What is mithya? Mithya means falsity, not true, an appearance nature. Good way of explaining this would be telling the truth, keeping silent, and telling a lie. Compare it to Brahman, which is the truth. It exists. It is existence itself. Compare it to something like a square circle, which is just words. There is nothing corresponding to that square circle. It is non-existent. So non-existence is like silence. I don't say anything. Truth, reality is like speaking the truth. But there's something in between. I speak, but I tell lies. So I'm saying something about something which not as it is. That is mithya. So a lie is not silence, but a lie is not the truth also. Mithya is not nothing. So people think the Vedanta says the world is nothing. No, Jagat Mithya does not mean the world is nothing, but it's not the ultimate truth also. So this world is first to be understood as an appearance. You start with the impermanent nature of the world, anitya, which is easier to grasp. Yes, things are impermanent. So what? No, so dwell on it. Stay with it. That's the Buddhist approach. Anityam, anityam, sarvam anityam. They will go to empty, empty, all is emptiness. But they go from that step by step. So mithya, the technical definition is Swatyanta abhava adhikarane bhasamanatvam mithyatvam. That's a technical definition. Appearance in the locus of its absence is falsity. An entity which appears where it does not exist is false. So the snake appears in the rope. There's no snake there, but it looks like a snake. That snake must be false. This world appears in Brahman. There's only Brahman, one non-dual Brahman. But the world appears, then it must be false. That gives it a certain level of reality. This is called transactional reality, Vyavaharika reality. So mithya is equal to Vyavaharika reality, transactional reality, where it is admitted names, forms, and functions are all there. They're all part of appearance. So even if it is mithya, everything works. Everything works in a dream. Everything works in a virtual reality. So everything works at the level of appearance. Just because it works does not mean it's true. Falsity, this world is an appearance of what? Of the truth. The truth is Brahman. Vivekananda says it's not that Vedanta dismisses the world. For the first time, we understand what the world truly is, that it is Brahman. You can emphasize, you can teach Vedanta as the rope is true. So Brahma Satyam. You can teach Vedanta as the snake is false. You can emphasize the falsity of the snake. The falsity of the world can be emphasized. The core teaching is that we are the truth. The truth is Brahman, the world is an appearance, and you are Brahman. The definition of mithya is appearance where it does not exist.
Pranam Swamiji. My name is Raghu. I just recently started my spiritual journey, and your talks have been a great source of knowledge and inspiration. That's a very basic question that's been troubling me, and I haven't been able to figure out. I don't even know if the question is framed correctly. Given that the witness consciousness or Brahman is pure and omnipresent, why does negative vasanas and vrittis start in the first place that then we have to work to fix and clean for realization? So why would it even start? Is it a defect in the tool?
No. When you say pure, does not naturally mean good. Pure means only pure means one thing only. Purity is one thing only, right? Because anything other, impurity means mixture. So when you say pure consciousness, it means consciousness only. We just studied Chinmatra Murta. Chinmatra means consciousness only. Brahman is consciousness only. But it appears through the agency of Maya as this world of diversity, in which there is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Because of this mixture of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, there are a variety of things. And some of them may be good, some of them may be bad. And our mind also has a variety of thoughts depending on what it is thinking about. So mind takes on the color of what it thinks about. So mind can have, there can be impurity in the mind. There is impurity in the mind. There is purity in the mind. But beyond the mind and the body is pure consciousness, which means consciousness only. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Got it.
This impurity in fact, this impurity in the mind exists because of Brahman. Everything exists because of Brahman. If you say the movie screen is pure and blank, then why a villain appears on the movie screen? Only good people should appear on the movie screen. No, the movie screen enables the villains and the good people to appear, and they all the time they're nothing but that movie screen. But they're pictures and sounds moving on the movie screen. What are you? Are you the hero or the villain? Neither. You are the movie screen. And as the movie screen, you are both the hero and the villain.
Thank you.
Namaste, Swamiji. My name is Aparna, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity to listen to you in person for the first time. My question is about manifesting divinity in life. And while the attempt to do that is ongoing, people who are with us, influenced by us, they would give feedback. And can that be used as pramanam? And how to balance it by taking the feedback in an unbiased way, as well as make sure we don't get swayed and go off track by that feedback.
I'll start with the last, what you said, going off track. Never go off track. The best, most precious thing we have in our life is spirituality, whichever form. You don't have to be Advaitins. If you have devotion to God in a particular form, that's great. If you're a Christian or a Muslim, we're genuinely spiritual in your life, that's the best thing. Never be thrown off track. Don't allow the world to rob you of the most precious thing you've got. That's one. Practice, manifesting divinity, and that's where practice comes in. That's where, even if you feel you've got the organ transplant, Vedanta has been transplanted into us. I've understood it. But like he said, strict diet and medicines had to be taken. That doctor told the patient, otherwise transplant will not work. Strict diet and medicines is equal to practice. Swami Vivekananda said, an ounce of practice is worth 10 tons of tall talk. 10 tons of tall talk. So if without practice, what is to be done? Like Krishna gives 20 things to practice. And they're all to be practiced in the midst of society. Even the withdrawal from society, the liking for solitude, that means society, there is society. So those are, without that, field and field knower and all that will become tall talk. Now in this, what do the people in the family and in job, in community, what role will they play? Apart from the social role, spiritual life, yes, it's good feedback. Difficulties, when we deal with people, there are difficulties. So our spiritual attitude helps us to spiritualize our interactions with people. And especially when we run up against difficulties, some person is being difficult, or maybe person is not so difficult, my difficulty is mostly my own, my reactions I cannot control. It could be. In either case, before handling anything, others or yourself, go back to the light. I am the witness consciousness. From that perspective, handle the mind. From that perspective, handle the body and speech and other people. Handle means interact. Spiritualize, see the divinity in all beings, and then from that, how you can skillfully play the game. You may have to scold somebody, praise somebody else. You may have to be indifferent to somebody. You may have to be in the game itself. But in your heart, you are not indifferent to anybody. You are the same to everybody, because everybody is my Lord.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste, Swamiji Nilesh.
Yes.
Thank you for making this Diwali really special for all of us. I just had a question, a clarification probably. In the 20 things that Krishna has mentioned in the 13th chapter, Vyabhicharani Bhakti is probably one of the ones. And I wanted to understand is Shraddha part of it as one question.
Yes.
And the second one is we're talking about showing the potential and manifesting the divinity. So to show the potential, the Shraddha on the Guru, the scriptures is one thing, but then to manifest, is the Shraddha the Atma Shraddha or the self belief and confidence? That is probably the second part of it. And any clarification on that?
Yes, I mean, the answer to your question is straightforward answer is yes. It is, the answer is already there in your question. Manifestation of our own divinity, it requires confidence upon ourselves. Unless we have a high esteem of our own nature, yes, I am Brahman, and a sense of our own competence. Yes, I will be able to face this and do. If somebody else can do it, I can also do it. I have faced so many challenges in life. I can also deal with this. This Shraddha, this feeling that, in the Kathopanishad, when the little boy Nachiketa goes to the house of death, before going, he says, I am the first in many things. And in many things, I am middling. Nowhere am I last. This is Shraddha, self-confidence. It's not arrogance. In some things, many others are better than me, but I'm not last. I'm not worthless. This will help us in manifesting not only confidence on the Guru, not confidence in Vedanta, but confidence in myself. Swami Vivekananda gave maximum emphasis on self-confidence. If a person who has self-confidence, everything else will become helpful to that person. Vedanta will work for that. Guru will be helpful. God will be helpful. And God helps those who help themselves. In this book, in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, in the first chapter is a verse, second chapter actually, Sri Krishna scolds Arjuna, Klevyam masma gamah partha, naitatva upapadyate. Uttishta, taktva kshudram hidaya daurbalyam, uttishta. Taktva uttishta parantapa. This faint-heartedness, this meanness, this smallness arise out of being a small person, a petty person. Death is before us. Why be small? Why not be the best we can be, the greatest we can be? Soon this life will be over. We will go on to other lives maybe. But when you're painting, paint the best picture of life you can. And Swami Vivekananda says, this is the most important verse in whole Bhagavad Gita. Every other Acharya has chosen different verses. That this is most important, this is most important. But Vivekananda says at the very beginning, nobody take much importance. It's just a scolding to Arjuna. Vivekananda says that is the most important verse. Once you arise, you take the responsibility upon arise, and you're ready to change, then everything is possible. That is Shraddha. I can be better and I will be better. I will make my life better. Then everybody rushes in to help you. All these books teach us, yes. But if I don't want that, then it may still happen, it will be very difficult.
Swamiji, my name is Vinita, and thank you for being here in Dallas again. My question is actually following up on both the previous questions. In chapter 13, when Sri Krishna is laying out all the qualities, is he in a way actually telling us how to divinize humanity and also humanize divinity? That's one question. And then the second is, when you list the 20 qualities, do the ones that are listed first, are they the outcome of the ones that are listed towards the end?
Oh, second question which you asked, is there a cause and effect relationship? There might be. I never thought about it that way. But there seems to be. If you go towards the end, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. Even before that is Janma Mrityu Jaravyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. Constant application to Vedantic inquiry and keeping in view the result to be obtained by all this. These are also practices of jnana. If you do that, these other practices will become easier. But then if you do these practices, that will also become easier. So there's a cause and effect. For example, the first two, amanitvam, adambhitvam. The non-pretentiousness comes after this non-ego. Non-ego is is an earlier practice, and non-pretentiousness is an earlier practice, and non-ego is the later practice. See, showiness is a worse form of pride. Pride may be based on something real. Then I'm egotistic about it. But something not real. I have not read that book. I pretend as if I have. I do not know that person. I pretend as if I know that. I do not have that much money. I try to show I have a lot of money. That is worse. So the earlier one has to be practiced first, and this one will go away. So there is a cause and effect relationship.
But I'm thinking like, humility or a non-violence, peace. Those are outcomes of practices that are more.
You are right, they are. But the other practices at the end are higher practices. Because if I say I will constantly stay with the self-inquiry, adhyatma jnana nityatvam, not self, not self, field nor of the field. If I have not done the initial work, I will not be able to do it. The mind will be swept away by the impurities. Swami Sarvapriyananda ji says in that Sermon on the Mount according to Vedanta, blessed are the pure in heart because they shall see God. He says, how do I know if I'm pure in heart or not? And he gives a very practical test there. He says, sit quietly and try to think of God. You make up your mind. I will think of God now. Same mind which you have made up your mind, I will think of God. Within seconds, other thoughts will come in. That shows impurity of the mind.
No, I understand. But like devotion to teacher, and those seem to be like more physical sort of
But
practice.
see, devotion to teacher, I explained it in a non-dual way.
Yes,
The physical part is there.
yeah.
The pedagogical part is there. That proximity to teacher is very helpful. If you like the teacher, if you have reverence, then you like the knowledge also. You'll be open to downloading that knowledge.
Right.
Those things are good. Plato says that contact with the teacher is important because you cannot transfer knowledge actually. So it is not just the physical service to the teacher. And it goes even deeper. You sit where the teacher is sitting. The teacher is sitting in Aham Brahmasmi. Where am I sitting? Aham Jagatasmi, Samsari Asmi. I have to sit there.
I was thinking of it more in terms of corporate training, because they try to tell you, do customer service and all that. But if the practice hasn't been done, then having that.
In the corporate training, and there's a corporate vision.
It's like a more behavior oriented.
Right, generally. So there's a corporate vision. This is our corporate mission and vision. I say constantly dwell on the corporate vision. Constantly dwell on the corporate vision is possible only when the other moral and ethical practices are done. And then otherwise, the field and field knower inquiry is not easy.
Swamiji, I want to say thank you for your Bhagavad Gita classes. And you're
Yes.
doing exactly chapter 13.
We have started
right
chapter
now.
13.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.